guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and it's time for a species spotlight. This week I'm going to talk to you about a specific family of fishes, not so much a specific species. And that's Sewellia, or the spotted hillstream, reticulated hillstream, Hong Kong pleco. They have a ton of different names, and I honestly can't keep up with all the common names. Now, right now in the Fish Room I have Sewellia linealata, which is the most common of the spotted hillstream types. I also have another group of Sewellia, which I thought was Sewellia FCW 01, but now I'm thinking it might be FCW 03 or 04. You see, it's very confusing. There's quite a few species that may not be classified, and depending on where they're collected, you can get a lot of different things. So I'm going to show you those as well as the linealata, and just tell you a little bit more about keeping, breeding, feeding, and housing these incredibly awesome hillstream algae eaters. Now I have the Sewellia linealata, which is this group, in a really long running aquarium of mine. You can see that it has a ton of plants. And despite them not having a lot of underwater vegetation in the wild, mainly having riparian growth, I find that they do really well in these really aged, mature planted tanks, as long as you have enough turnover rate. Now all of the species of Sewellia get about 2.5 inches for females, maybe 2 inches for males. And they're all off-flux grazers, meaning that they, in the wild, because of the high light, clear water, there is a lot of algae growth on the rocks in the headwaters that they inhabit. So they mainly eat algae that grow on rocks, as well as the little insect larvae that get trapped in that algae. And that's really important in the home aquaria, and it's easy to cultivate algae by growing it on rocks with a clip lamp in a bucket, or by putting them outside. Sewellia are also known as the most aggressive, or aggressive really isn't the right word, but dominant of these hillstream suckerfish. And if you only have 2 or 3, rival males can really spar quite dramatically and actually kill each other. So it's a good idea to either have a good amount of females, or to make sure you have a large enough group that no one becomes low man on the totem pole, getting picked off and killed. Now, these guys are easy to sex at maturity, and the fact that the females are way wider than the males. Males also have tubercles, though I don't find them easy to see. Right here you can see a female on top and a male on the bottom. These guys, despite being a little bit aggressive to each other, are really well suited to a hillstream aquarium that has things like white clouds, danios, Borneo suckers, coolie loaches, achisis catfish, rhinogobius, stiphodons, or really any of the fish that like that high turnover rate. Ideally for these guys, you would have super high amounts of oxygen, because they come from shallow, fast-flowing, highly oxygenated headwaters, often near waterfalls. So it's a very, very high turnover rate, and in the aquarium 15 to 20 times per hour is ideal. Now I can achieve this with sponge filters, using very large, oversized, multiple sponge filters, but a power head is really, really appreciated, or an oversized canister with a pretty significant spray bar, like in my 150. This is the other group of Sewellia, and you can see that they differ from the reticulated in that they have almost a ladder back pattern on their back. Now the FCW 02, 3, and 4 all look pretty similar, but that patterning on the back is what differentiates them. I find them to be really beautiful, and you can see the difference as well. You can see the difference as well in the patterning on their fins. The reticulated or the linealata have spots, and these guys have stripes. Again, it's very easy to sex them. That is a male. That is a female. She is substantially broader through her entire body, especially in that chest cavity. I prefer these guys to the linealata. I just think that their patterning's a little more beautiful, and they seem to be a little less dominant than the other type. That being said, we can see a dominance display going on back here. As you can see in this aquarium as well, I have wood that has algae growing on it. I also supplement these guys with Repashy Soylent Green, and I feed them frozen baby brine as well as a good quality spirulina pellet. I don't find them to be as difficult to feed as something like a Stiphodon, though their nutritional needs really have to be taken into consideration for them to thrive and especially to breed. They are very breedable. The males will chase the females, and then they'll do like a swirling pattern through the water column where they release their milk and the eggs, which fall into the substrate. They don't generally predate on their eggs, and I'm not quite sure exactly how long it takes them to hatch, but you'll find little babies showing up after a time, which have like a panda coloration. They're really pretty adorable. And the best way to breed these guys is to have them on a bed of really smooth, round, mid-sized gravel. I like to provide a bunch of caves, I like to provide a bunch of smooth river stones, and you'll just see fry start to appear. Now, of course, if you want a more controlled approach, you would want to set up a breeding pair and then remove them to raise the eggs. The babies eat the same things as an adult, but it's really important to have them in a mature tank so they can graze constantly in order to have good growth and survivability. I wanted to show you again. This is a female. You can see how wide she is. That is a male. That is a male. So female, 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 male, male. This is a male. He's got like narrow hips. This is a female with the wider ones. All in all, I think that as far as hillstream loaches go, the Sewellia are the most suitable to the less experienced hobbyist, simply because they're the easiest to feed. And there's a lot of diversity available. They're quite beautiful, really entertaining. And the most important thing to remember is to have quite a lot of oxygenation. Keep them in a temperature range of 68 to 74. They'll take almost any pH range, really. But a good mature tank with plenty of algae or the ability to supplement comparable foods is of what is most important. Once these guys clear quarantine, I'll probably add a group to my 150-gallon hillstream tank because I think they are simply amazing. Another thing to note about hillstream loaches in general is that they're extremely sensitive to medications, so it's especially important to do a nice long quarantine and to not medicate prophylactically. Look at that beautiful patterning on their back. They are really stunning. Now, if any of you watching know exactly which species these are, let me know below. In the meantime, I'm going to get some good photographs and send them off to some experts and see what they think. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know below if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions. Or, which species of hillstream is your favorite. Make sure you take a second and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos, and stop by my Instagram, Facebook, and website, MsJinx.com, where you can find my upcoming speaking engagements and my current stock list. As always, I really appreciate your guys' support.